What's up mga kapitik? It's Jay here and welcome back to my podcast. So for today's podcast, we'll be tackling about how to survive a shift in the emergency department. So a lot of people wanted to know how I survived a shift in the emergency department, and I wanted to let you know 15 things that I usually do when working during night, especially night shifts. So these things that I'll be talking about is based on my experience, and it's not a standard thing that you need to do, but these things helped me to survive the shift. So if you have suggestions or comments, just comment down below so that other people, you know, will read it and it will help them to survive a shift. So this is also for nurses who are new grad, and wanted to pursue emergency nursing, and also for those nurses coming from the Philippines who are transitioning now or who are coming here in the US to practice emergency nursing. This is the first point or the first item. First is come in early, 15 to 20 minutes early than your shift. It helps to set the tone, adjust to the temperature of the room. You'll get to attend the huddle or updates in your assignments. So, nakakatulong talaga to sa akin. Every time I worked, I usually come in 15 or 30 minutes before my shift. So, na-update ako whatever is the updates, kung ano man yung kailangan kong malaman na changes sa department, because usually hindi ka naman magtatrabaho ng araw-araw within 7 days. So 3 araw ka lang required to work in. What if nauna na yung 3 araw mo and then you have 4 days off, and then when you get back to work again, may bagong updates na naman. So it's nice to have a fresh information coming from your charge nurse who is doing your huddle. And also nakakatulong kasi na hindi ka ngarag, you're not in a hurry, and parang naka-adjust ka na sa environment ng emergency room, because sometimes it's very cold and wala kang dalang jacket. At least pagdating mo doon, adjust ka sa environment, ihi ka muna, get your stuff na kailangan mo sa shift. So yun. And second point or second item I have here is get report completely from the outgoing nurse. So never miss to get report from the outgoing nurse. Ask questions if you have. Ask for pending medications to give, blood to be drawn, imaging to be done, the current status of the patient. This information will help you to, for your game plan for the day. Also read the chart, because sometimes, kasi I have trust issues, because I've been experiencing this a lot. Like they've said during the report that, this patient has nothing to do anymore because everything has been done. But when you check the chart, there's a lot of things to be done, like medication to give, imaging to be done, like additional labs. It's okay that you will tell me that, there's a lot of blood works to be collected, then there's no pending labs. Like you're expecting nag-iisip ka na sa mind mo, wala akong gagawin dito sa pasyente na to, so I have to update them na we're just waiting for the results of the test, ganyan. Pero pagdating pala sa chart, ang dami mo palang gagawin. And it's also nice to do a bedside report, so that nakikita mo talaga yung condition ng patient, if the patient is still breathing or not. So yeah. my third point or my third item here is gather patient's history of present illness. Because sometimes when you get an EMS patient and they'll just give you like one fourth of all the present illness, the present illness or the history of present illness. So you need to gather everything, what happened, who witnessed the incident, and where is the patient coming from? Is he or she coming from home or from a nursing home? So that you'll know where to transport the patient when they're discharged in the emergency. You when you gather present illness, history of present illness, you'll also anticipate what will be the doctor's management, and you're ahead of everything. You've already taken EKG, you've already collected labs, you've already inserted IV. So all you need to do is give medicine, collect the labs in the system, and submit it to the lab, and you just have to print the EKG and show it to the doctor. So this will avoid delays in the patient care. My next point here, my fourth item here for you to survive emergency nursing or a shift in the emergency room is prioritize your patient according to their current condition. This is the time where you will apply what you have learned from your NCLEX review. So, kailangan mo talagang i-prioritize yung dapat mong gawin sa pasyente mo para, yung hindi ma-delay yung care. If, may mas critical dun sa patient, you need to attend to that patient first. And yung iba naman makakahintay if they're not emergent and they're not like critical procedure to be done. My next point here, my fifth item is know who you're working with and current status of the emergency room. Know who you're working in the pod, because dito sa US, you're working, there's an assigned pod where you will be working. Like in each pod, there's 8 or 16 rooms. Like there's 3 or 4 nurses or 2 nurses assigned to that one, and you have one patient care tech. So you need to know who you're working with, if matulungin ba yung ka-workmate mo or not, or may patient care tech ba kayo or wala, or you also need to know if you're holding patient in the emergency room, because that will change everything. Like mag-iiba yung game plan mo for the day, because you'll be holding patient, like admitted patient in the emergency room. So you need to give all the medication, the admission medication. You need to start whatever the admission orders and then done. You also need to know if you have a transporter, because sometimes ikaw talaga magta-transport sa patient wherever the patient needs to go. My sixth item here that will help you survive a shift is stock your rooms with supplies. This will saves you time coming in and out of the patient room to get supplies. So if na-stock mo na yung room na kailangan mo, like blood pressure cuff, temperature thermometer, pulse oximeter, electrodes, it will save you time to hook the patient to the monitor. Because ang mga patient's room here, usually in the US, are equipped with a cardiac monitor, and those monitors are connected to the system. All you need to do is pull the data in the system, and you'll have the vitals every hour, every 30 minutes, every 15 minutes, whatever, or it depends on how you set the cycle of the vital signs in that cardiac monitor. So, pag nakastock ka na doon, may syringe doon, may tape doon, may gauze doon. So, hindi mo na kailangan lumabas para kunin yung mga supplies na yun. So, all in one is nandun na lahat. My seventh item here is know how to delegate tasks. This is very helpful. This will saves you from being swamped with lots of tasks at the start of the shift, because working at night, you will start very busy with a lot of patients. And, I know maraming may iwang trabaho ang day shifts kasi nga, they will leave their shift with a pretty hectic schedule or pretty hectic emergency room because yan yung time na dagsaan yung pasyente sa ER. Kailangan mo ring malaman kung hanggang kailan lang or hanggang saan ano lang yung pwedeng gawin ng mga patient care tech nyo. So, if you're doing a nursing procedure like inserting a catheter or changing the patient's diaper, you can ask your patient care tech to get a glucose of your other patient or do something else, or get a blood specimen or collect a blood, from other patients. Next item that will help you survive a shift is group your tasks. So time and energy consuming if you don't group your task. For example, you have blood work to be collected, EKG to be done, medications ordered for the patients. Group them all like as much as possible so you won't have to go in and out of the patient's room. So nakaka-save ka ng time and effort and makaka-save ka ng patient interaction. Like, because sometimes other patients are very talkative and they want you to, listen to their problems and concerns. So you don't have time for those kind of things. You have a lot of things to do. You have 4 patients to take care and you have doctors to attend to as well because they need something else and they need this and that right away. So group your tasks as much as possible. My 9th item is anticipate MD's order, work with your MDs, communicate with them, especially in terms of patient management. If you think the patient needs a certain blood works, tell them in a professional manner using SBAR. Inform them if you're not comfortable giving medication because the patient has this and that. Tell them. They'll be more than happy to explain why they wanted to give this medication. You both are working on the best interest of the patient, not the other way around. So, best ingredient of a good environment is respect. Kasi yun naman talaga ang kailangan mo to survive. Like, para tulungan ka rin ng mga kasama mo, you need to respect them. So my 10th item here is know when to seek help. So emergency nursing is not a one-man show. You will not survive if you think that way. Emergency nursing requires teamwork. You can't run a code by yourself. Take note of that. You need someone to do compression, push medicines, and etc. So hindi ko alam kung sino dito ang nakapag-survive na siya lang nag-run ng code ng pasyente, walang iba. So emergency nursing really is a teamwork. Next is read and update yourself with your patient's chart. So sometimes the doctor will not tell you, they will just order in the chart and you have to read and update yourself. So whenever you have time to read the chart and update your vitals and update your chart with the current patient status. Because the doctor will just read a chart, whatever you've written there, they'll read it. 12. Update your patients every time you enter the room. This will eliminate complaints and this will, because they're pretty anxious about their condition, so they have a lot of questions. So when you update them, like, hey, we're just waiting for your results and the doctor will be here soon. Hey, we need to wait for the CAT scan to be done and the doctor will be here soon. We are just waiting for another lab. The doctor will be here to discuss everything about the results, the change of plans of your care. We're not sure yet if you'll be admitted or you'll be discharged. We're just waiting for the status, or we're just waiting for the results of the test that has been done. So you need to update your patient every time you enter the room. Next item that will help you survive a shift in the emergency department is follow chain of command. Yeah. Any concerns you have, like patient management, MD's orders, interdepartment concerns like laboratory imaging, fellow nurses issues, patient assignments issues, communication with your charge nurse is the key of everything. They will help you whatever concerns you have as much as possible. Okay? Because hindi mo siya aakuin lahat. Hindi mo kakayanin. So you have to involve somebody to help you. 14 is to connect your patient to the monitor, because the setup here in the US is that each room has cardiac monitor. So na mapupull mo yung data ng vital signs dun sa system mismo. So, kasi yung, kunwari, sa facility nyo, required kayo mag-take ng reassessment and vital signs ng pasyente every hour if acuity level 2. If acuity level 3, pwedeng 2 hours, depende sa policy nyo. So, you don't have to go inside the patient's room and record the vital signs of the patient. You just need to like pull the data from the system. And hindi naman every hour kailangan yung i-check yung pain score ng pasyente. Minsan kasi tatawag yan sila na, hey, I need pain medication. I can't bear it anymore. Tama ba yung English ko? Yeah, siguro. Yun. So, yeah, it's easier if you have them hooked to the monitor. All right, I'm down to my last point, which is to make a report cheat sheet. So I always have a small piece of paper where I can write down my report about the patient conditions, their age, their gender, their code status, allergies, chief complaint, history of present illness, past medical surgical history, recent vital signs and complaints if they have, management provided, contraptions, pending labs, imaging, procedures, and medications. So I have them in a piece of paper. So whenever the patient has a room, if the patient is for admission, it's easier for you to give report to the nurse who's gonna take your report. Para swift yung para madali yung pagbigay ng report. Hindi kayo mag-iisip-isip na, ganito, ganito. You also have to put, I've already mentioned that the allergies, because they always ask if the patient has allergies and that. So, yeah. Kung mag-change shift na, it's easier to give report to the nurse. It won't take you like 5 minutes to give all the report to the nurse. So, you already have the report at hand and you just have to read it. So, it's easier and it's very, very helpful. Because sometimes the doctor will ask you, what happened to the patient now? So, you have a fresh report. Now, hey, the patient is this and that already. The patient is ready for disposition. Things like that. Then, yeah, I hope this 15 items will help you survive a shift. And if you're thinking of doing emergency nursing, I hope this will help you survive your shift. If you have questions and suggestions, I'll be more than happy to read those in the comment below. And I also asked my friend, she is working in United Kingdom, and I asked her how she was able to survive a day in the emergency room. So, babasahin ko lang yung sinend niya sa akin. So, before yung shift niya mag-start, a day before, nagpe-prepare na siya. She will do all the errands, chores at home, yung laundry niya, mag-declutter siya ng room, prepare niya yung baon niya para pagdating nung shift niya, wala siyang iisipin pa. And also, kailangan mo daw at least 4 to 5 hours of sleep before the shift. Ako naman, 6-hour minimum ko. So, kailangan may 6 hours ako minimum na sleep. Tapos sabi daw niya, dapat may laman ang tiyan mo kahit konti para hindi ka gutom when you start your shift, kasi minsan mahirap magtrabaho na kumukulo yung tiyan mo, humahapde. Um, and the most important thing is pray before the shift na i-guide ka ni God for everything. Tulungan kanya na magbigay ng patient care sa pasyente niyo. So, sabi niya, maging frank ka daw. Isipin ng iba, heartless kayo, pero kailangan mo din yan. Huwag mong i-babysit yung pasyente because they're not babies. If you're not working in the pediatric department, you have to be frank with them. To them, whatever. So, maging matigas minsan para hindi ka abusuhin ng mga pasyente. Pagdating sa mga colleagues mo, kailangan mong makipag-mingle daw sa kanila, and wag sobra naman na machismis ka pa. So you don't need to please everybody, and you came to work not to make friends. Okay? Bonus na lang yung makagawa ka ng friends dun. And lastly, document is the key. So document everything you have done to the patient and will cover your ass when it comes to lawsuit. And whatever patients complain, you need to report that to to your provider so that they'll be updated. Also to your charge nurse as well. Whatever the status of your patient, if the patient changes status from stable to severely critical, then you need to inform your charge nurse, kasi sila din magsasabi kung bibigyan kanila ng pasyente or hindi. Yeah. So, minsan, magpatay mali siya ka daw sa mga unnecessary things. Huwag mo na lang isipin. And you came there to work, not to make friends daw. Yep. And all in all daw, nakakaloka lang at first, pero masasanay ka rin. Masaya naman daw ang emergency if you really love adrenaline rush. Kasi, isip ko kasi, hindi ako yung tipong magti-take care ng pasyente for 8 hours or 12 hours and the following day sila pa rin yung iti-take care mo. Wala akong pasyente. Hindi ko gusto yun. Basically. So, that's why I love, emergency nursing. At saka mabilis yung time. Kasi, you're always on the go. Alright, I hope nakatulong to sa inyo. And if you have suggestion to my next topic sa next episode, free to comment below and I'll be happy to read those. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that notification bell para updated ka to my next episode.